Are we live? Yeah, I'm finally live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good afternoon to those of you in the UK. As usual, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and of course, good night, according to wherever you are in this world. And welcome back to, me being live. And I appreciate everybody that's locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I appreciate everybody that was locked into my live stream earlier. Shameless plug, people, but please make sure you're checking out the live message, because obviously not only am I telling you the merchandise is there now, I'm going live after this at, I believe, 4:30. I'm pretty sure I gave myself half an hour break, and I think we've been linked with, Bellerin's been linked with a move to Atletico Madrid. We've been linked with Trippier. Apparently, Thierry Henry's trying to help us sign a couple men, and there's rumours we're open to selling Aubameyang. So again, any Aubameyang-related questions, I know this is a Q&A, but let's hold that till 4:30. The grind don't stop, so how can I? Apologies, people. Let me move that from you. And obviously, shameless plug, but in terms of advertising and whatnot, I mentioned the merchandise. I might as well show you where you can get such, people. The link's in the description. Link is in the live chat. Shout out to all the members, because we're here because of you guys, people. As you lot can see, there's something here that will tickle your fancy. To all the ladies, ladies specific merchandise soon land. So for those of, in fact, you know what I say, soon land. Again, we all know a couple people's mothers and baby mothers and all them things. They love to listen to Deluded because their baby dads come here and troll me. Maybe it will give up the jig. So obviously, I'm sure you can get away with a mug and whatnot. So yeah, check that one there out, people. But apart from that, what are you lot that are members saying? I appreciate you lot. I appreciate the fact that you're all members. I appreciate everyone in the DG Nation, but the members slap differently. You man believe in, man. And it's nice to see. Obviously, I know as much as I'm here to praise you, members, there's always one guy that no matter how many times I tell you guys, somebody don't listen. Somebody doesn't take it in. So if you haven't got your questions in via the community tab, don't feel any sort of way. Get them going in the live chat and I'll answer them when I see them. So yeah, shout out to everyone who did listen and did ask their questions. No question is stupid. There's no such thing as too many questions. Yeah, we're here for an hour or so. So let's get into it, people. As I said, make sure you hit the like button and you're here for the next live stream later today. I put in a bloody big amount of effort for you lot. So I appreciate the support you guys give me, or there'd be no point. Yeah, man, we're off to a good start. So let's crack on. What you lot saying, man? River Wild, shout out to you, man. What have you said? Afternoon, DG. Your follow pushed me into double figures. What would be your preferred system / style of play if we were to sign the likes of Basuma / Buendia? Well, not too. It's a good question, my guy. And shout out to you for your question. And obviously, you put in all the support. The least I could do is follow you back. You're pretty funny on the net as well with some of the things you at me with. But to answer your question, my guy, easy decision, because I don't want to personally. I want us to be able to play free at the back. I want us to be able to do those sort of things in moderation that Arteta is accused of doing it too much. I actually like the fact that we can go into big games and change things. The problem is there's no balance. We've gone from when we've had Wenger, where it don't matter who we're playing. We're just trying to pass you off the park. If it works, it works. If it don't, which was more often than not in recent years, you know what happened. To Arteta, who for me, I like that he thinks about the opposition and all of those sort of things. But no matter how much there's a goal in class, you've got to throw something the other way. You can't just defend. You got to offer something going forward. So I want us to be able to do up the 5 at the back and those sort of things in moderation. But 9 times out of 10 against a low block, against the other members of the Prem, where arguably, I won't go as far as to say we've succeeded against the top teams, but generally in comparison to how we've probably played the smaller clubs, we've probably been a bit more convincing or performed a bit better against the bigger clubs. What's been our issue is, with all due respect, the Villa one week, Wolves the next week, Leeds the next week, and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying they're small clubs and things because they're all heavily supported, but I'm obviously saying away from the traditional top 6. That's been our issue. For me, my guy, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 all the way. Like, it shouldn't change too much. I think the first thing we've got to do, and especially now that we're in no Europe, let's get a proper 11. Like, let's not get 4 or 5 players that we can all agree are good. Then there's, certain other players where they're not your cup of tea, but they're playing all right. They do a bit better. We're prepared to concede the mistakes they make because of what they give us for all their shortcomings. We need to focus on having an 11 that us fans can look at and say, cool, you can go out there and do a job, which I think on the best of days, you can't really say it. I'm not here to scapegoat players, but if we was naming our strongest team, just going off the players that were here last season, people, if somehow we was in the Europa League final and everybody's fit and there's a gun to my head as in relation to what team am I going to play, disregarding form and things, just the players. Well, obviously I'm gonna be a bit biased to our striker, but I would say what I'll go with River. I'll go with what Leno gets the nod in goal. Centre half David Luiz and Gabriel. Tierney goes without saying that. Left back, right back. Give it Chambers, really and truly. Midfield, Xhaka, Partey, Smith Rowe in the 10 for me. On the left and the right, it doesn't matter. Saka and Pepe either side. And I wish I could name 12 for Martinelli, but I'd probably go with Aubameyang. Again, as I've said that, a couple of you have probably said, nah, you can't do that. You can't do this. That's the point I'm getting at. We need a proper 11. Then, obviously, we know depth is a big problem as well, but we need to walk before we can run sort of thing. We need both, man. We need to be able to go with Partey and Basuma, similar to what we did with El Nene and Partey at Old Trafford. Games like that. But again, against a low block, don't get it twisted. Partey and Basuma can pass the ball, but primarily they're in the team to put a foot in. If you're going to have large amounts of possession and the team's going to sit back, do you necessarily need both of them? Can you go with one of the two? Can you go with, in fact, none of them? Go with 2 8s and a 10 and all of that glorious stuff we used to go with. My problem being, my point is we need a variety. More often than not, it's 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 for me. I would love to actually, I don't say it enough, but I actually love the 4-4-2 formation. But in the modern day, you're coming against a midfield three more time. More time, teams are playing inverted wingers and fullbacks and back fives and things. So if you're going to have 2 man in midfield, that 2-man pivot has to be spot on and everybody else needs to be spot on. That's something I don't think we're going to get to in the next year or so. So 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 every day of the week for me. And then, like I said, deviations if we need be, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, man, shout out to you, Peter, as well. Like he said, big up the members, them. Emma said, do you think Arteta needs to show more adaptability, or is it just about getting better players in? Kind of great question. Both. Clearly this is, and you understand, and everyone that's locked in understands, because you lot are sensible people. That's why you're locked into the best YouTuber and the sexiest YouTuber there is. But yeah, bro, like this is where I think when you look at Arsenal, fans lack balance of just calling things for what they are. It's either you speak to one Arsenal fan, he gets better players, it's going to be spot on. You go speak to another Arsenal fan, sorry, it's nothing about the players, it's about the manager. It's both. He hasn't shown enough adaptability purely because whatever excuse we give him, bro, we don't know what the set system is. We said give him a full season after he did his thing in the FA Cup, rightly so. We're here 18 months. We don't know what Arsenal are about. Chelsea's different, but the minute them man there went in, you could see what they're about. And there's probably other examples as well of managers going in and seeing something. So he needs to show more adaptability. I'd say make more clarity as well, because you did get the vibe in the first half of the season for me is that it was almost like Arteta, he would second guess himself. It's like he'll want to do something, then he'll see it's not working, he'll switch it up, he'll do 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I didn't really think he doubled down on anything. As a manager, for better or worse, you have to find balance, but you have to double down. Like obviously right now, Bielsa, them and they're going to live or die by the attacking sword, Pep Guardiola, for whatever you say, he's going to live or die by certain principles. Again, adaptability is crucial, but you need a bit of that. And I do think Arteta thinks about a bit like the things we used to kill Emre for, like thinking about the opposition too much. I like it, He wants to know the opposition better than they know themselves. That's cool. But last time I checked, there's 2 goals in football, and more often than not, we're just standing in our own half. And that's not what it's about. You have half a chance. You can do something. And teams with lesser resources have presented more problems to teams that we've lost to. So it's a bit of both, but undoubtedly it's adaptability. Of course, he needs better players. On the topic of adaptability, he hasn't shown me enough to say it's as simple as I was saying in my last live stream is you get new players, we're going to see something. But I do believe better players are better players, in it. They should be able to sort it out. I'll be interested to see what happens in an attacking sense, because I'm not being funny. And all of these players have to answer personal accountabilities for their parts in their season, whether they've been poor the whole season or in dribs and drabs. But let's be real. When no matter what you say about Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang, all them attacking players we've got, bro, we shouldn't be 9th for goals, or I could be wrong, but like 9th for goals or things like that, bro. Is that the 9th best attack in the league? I'm not saying it's amazing, but they should be able to present opportunities. More often than not, these sort of personnel are playing, we're not having no shots on target. You don't shoot, you don't score. And let's be real, any defender, it's whatever you say about half of these players. Any defender doesn't want to play against a front three of Pepe, Aubameyang and Saka and them things there, because they know they're in for a day. But too often than not, defenders have left with clean kits. And you'd argue fixing the attack, you just give them a bit of freedom. You make sure there's phases of play. That's easier than the defensive task. So I have to say that, really and truly. Shout out AM. You've said big up DG Nation. What do you want to see implemented in the squad next season? And what do you realistically expect from Arteta in the first 3 months of the season? Well, again, style of play, clarity over tactics. Again, injuries happen. You need to chop and change the team, but some sort of clarity over the sort of players and what we're trying to do. So the first 3 months, all you can do is let's just try and start well and build up a run of games. And as I always say to you lot, my guy, you know, from August, the focus is just December. Get to December as in and among that top 4, realistic points tally and them things there. Then December comes, get out of that. You know, November is probably still going to be dark for us, but we ain't got them European games and things like that. So you lot should be focusing more. As I said, August to December, December to February, March to May. Simple as that. The league's in 3-4 stages, in my opinion. So first 3 months, I just want to see a bit more clarity that we're not having. I want to see, you know, whether you know, even if you go with a Gabriel and Saliba and they're making mistakes, at least we see some teething problems for what we're trying to do long term. So just more clarity, just more DNA, more identity. Me just knowing what you are about a coach, you know, because there's a lot of propaganda as much as I like Arteta, but it don't really correlate. And, you know, again, in terms of what I would like to see next season beyond personnel, just better man and game management from the gaffer, better man and game management from the players, because I don't see them manage themselves. Obviously, I'm not going to lie, I think Holding is extremely vocal, and with the fans not being in the ground, you can see it and hear it. But I don't think the players police themselves. Players should be able to solve problems themselves, and too often than not, it looks like some men are just always looking to the manager. Certain players are looking to people younger than them in Saka and Smith Rowe. Certain people are just hiding. Certain people don't even know what's going on. Certain people look scared, like they don't want to be here. You know, just 11 players on the pitch, 25 man, whatever squad that want to be serious and stuff, because we can talk tactics and all those sort of things to a blue in the face, and they're relevant. But being switched on, having accountability, all of these things are what makes the difference. Because we've been got the fancy equipment at the Emirates and London Coley. We've been doing all that stuff, but it's just the basic principles, damn right belief, applying yourself. Because one thing that annoys me about Arsenal or the players is we don't respond to adversity well. You know, we have done it on occasion. We've come back against West Ham and Leicester, but too often than not, when something goes wrong, like we can see the goal, our heads drop, or in fact saying that half the time we can see the goal, then we're like, okay, cool, we're calm now. So these sort of things is what I'd like to change, man. Sean is just simply saying enter with a like, everyone, and I appreciate that. Kay, I appreciate that. Come on, man. Big up AM, like you said, run up the likes, man. What are we saying, man? In the barber with DG and the speakers. Shout out to everyone in the barbers. I need to go barbers myself. I know I'm sexy on the worst of days, but still, man, it is where it is. I appreciate everybody locked in, man. Shout out you, Steve. Morning. You was in the last live stream. How you saying morning? I appreciate that commitment, man. Crazy o'clock wherever you are, man. Manas said, DG, should we try 4-4-2 with Lacazette and Aubameyang up front? Kind of tying into what I said earlier, bro. With our midfield options currently, I'm not really feeling it, specifically that midfield pivot. And actually the defense, because you've got, again, your 4-4-2 going against a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, 3-4-3. You know, everybody's getting suffocated in the midfield, you know, 3-man midfield minimum, as I said earlier. So until I can have a pivot that I believe in, not really feeling it, my guy. But in terms of letting them two wreak havoc up front, and somehow you'd still probably have space to shoehorn a couple other players in the team, it is what it is, man. Shout out to you, man. Come on, 100% both. Like you said, but Claudius, the thing is, many people can't have their opinion and then look at the collective. Like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want Arteta to leave. I don't believe he's the guy. As long as you can consider there's some things that are not his fault and be open to proving wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying you mess with Arteta and then he messes up, he needs to go. There's nothing wrong with actually sitting on the fence. It's just certain people have made, like in football, certain people have made several beds so they lie in it. It's not just Arteta. I don't think Xhaka is going to be of the standard to get top 4 football, but he has a lot of issues, but he has a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of good things that in comparison to some of his teammates. As far as some people understanding it, Xhaka is not my cup of tea. There's nothing he can do right. Same with Willian, and to a degree, I'm like that with William. But yeah, man, you've got to be able to have accountability. It's 100% both. And the overriding factor would have to be the Kroenkes, man. Could lack of players are can? We tried that earlier on in the season, bro, but I'm not really feeling that one still. You can use it, we can utilize it, but nah, man, I want to do this thing where, You know, Smith Rowe, you're a cam, you play cam. Buendia, if you come, you're cam. Obviously, some players got to be adaptable and things, but we've got too many men that are on that sort of stuff. Like we're doing Aubameyang and Lacazette up. I mean, Aubameyang up front and on the left. Lacazette's moving about, and to be fair, Lacazette looked like at a point this season he was trying to become a defensive mid. Obviously, Chambers is a squad player and it's a bit different, but to support the agenda, you've got him and Maitland-Niles. You've got Cedric, who you have to say is a jack of all trades, master of none at this moment. He can't get on the field. You know, we've got a couple of those sort of things, man. I don't really want to do that. One or two, man, like a Chambers or someone that can be utility, man. I'm on that, but I just want people to play in their actual positions. I'm on it. You know, it can be used. It could be used, but it's a bit dead, man. I'd rather just try grab a Buendia or someone who's, I believe the modern day creators are number 8s now. So when I say 8, I'm kind of referring to that's half the time as well. That as well. So yeah, man. And I can't lie, Laka is mad creative, but I do think people not overrate his creativity, overstate it. Like they act like it's Lionel Messi playing there. With respect to Lacazette, I'm not saying you either. Lovely questions, keep them coming. People that ask them in the community tab, I swear that I'm going to get to them. I just want to answer a couple more of these in the live chat, and then I'll add some variety and whatnot, man. Good questions so far. Emma's also said, should we keep Kolasinac as backup for a year and try to sign another left back for cover in the 2022-23 season if we need the funds for other positions? The way you've put it, it makes 100% sense. And if you can't flog him, it's better than letting him stay in the under 23s. But I can't lie, man. For me, I'm trying to get him. Worst comes to worst, you're trying to get him gone. You're trying to let him leave. You're trying to get a minimum transfer fee where we got man for free anyways. You're trying to potentially, I would say, you know what, let him go on loan somewhere. They just give us a loan fee and pay up his wages, call it quits. Or probably, probably have to do what we did up with Mustafi and Ozil and cancel that contract really and truly. But it can make sense. If we can't bring in a left back, then we need to. And do you know what? If we don't bring in a left back in of any standard, I'd be quite upset really, because you've known for a while you need this. You've had 2 seasons of seeing that while Tierney is a good player, the way he plays and probably a bit of luck, you're never going to feel 100% that he's going to stay fit for the whole season. So he's a bit like Jack. He's not Jack Wilshere, but in the sense of he throws himself into tackles, he's going to pick up little knocks. And to a degree, there's an over-reliance on Tierney, Saka, Smith Rowe. Naturally, you're over-relying on these players and you're playing them every second, multiple games a week, obviously not next season. And then we're surprised they've had a drop-off or they're tired and things like that. Like what? That game that I scored that cracker and pull it on YouTube, people watch it. You know what? It's too old, man. I won't plug you lot. If you've seen the goal, you've seen the goal, the absolute screamer that I scored. But that game, my hamstrings were gone, people. My hamstrings were gone. I wasn't fully fit. Why? Because we played on Sunday, So again, if I understand it, so I can only sympathize. Oh, what did I kick over there? Apologies, people. So I can only... That's a light. You can't even tell the difference when the light got kicked over. But yeah, as I was saying, I've lost my trail of thought. But as I was saying, we need a left back. It's as simple as that, man. Like, I want to have confidence. Like, I'm not saying you need to. Ideally, we'd all love to be doing the City thing where you've got 2 quality. Well, they ain't got 2 quality left backs, but generally 2 quality players to scout him. We'll have to see, man. What's a smart free agent signing you'd like to see Arsenal make? Off the top of my head, that's difficult, man. Yachi Nadli, not Yachi Nadli. What's his name? I would like Yachi Nadli, but he's not free. Kai Ruiz Etel, I forgot his name, the PSG lad. He'll probably cost an arm and a leg in terms of his wages for a kid, but that could be a decent one. Wouldn't mind Sergio Ramos for mentality, but again, wages and that makes it a myth. As Sia said, make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't already, folks. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards, folks. Moving forward, make sure you're hitting that like button. Are you concerned we aren't really producing any defenders in the academy that can make it at first team level, not even at rotation level? To a degree, yeah, because we've been very attack centric, so it's not really a surprise. Maybe not so much of recent years. Well, Smith Rowe's there. If you're a creative sort of man, a winger, you already have half a chance. A more sort of like poetry, emotion, centre mid sort of player, Wenger sort of player, you have half a chance. I would like to see defenders because we have had some, but they've been all accidental or they've not quite been levels. It's what Gibbs was centre mid and left wing in the academy and he done his thing there. Bellerin, we bought him and it was smart business, but he came to the club as a winger. Clearly, he wasn't going to have a top level career as a winger, so we switched at the back. Half of them have been accidental, really and truly. So, yeah, man. What happened to Cedric second half of the season? I just think Arteta's just lost faith in him, man. Like, just saw one game and just thought, you know what, it's a myth. I can't trust you, rightly or wrongly. So yeah, keep your questions coming in the live chat, folks. Moving away from all of that, let's get into the YouTube community tab, because I've seen a bag of questions in there, man. And I know some of you are probably getting vexed. Like, DG, why is DG not speaking about that? What's all this? Oh, is it even letting me open it? Here we go. This is all mad. Why is it freezing? Apologies, people. Almost technical qualities. Okay, technical difficulties. Kay has said, do you think Aubameyang has reached somewhat of a crossroads in his career? Where does he go from here? Bro, where he can go from here, just try to keep scoring goals. I mean, it was all glorious. It was all Disney Channel. It was all fantasy when he signed the deal. But I like considering all the variables. We had to consider if this was going to happen. He's almost arguably been overproducing at Arsenal in terms of scoring goals. He's a quality player, so it's not really overproducing. But in terms of, you know, the system, the lack of clear-cut chances, it's been a miracle. That being said, he's got to answer his own questions, because I don't think we're creating chances. I do think something, and that's a luxury I'll give him, but I do think he's got to ask himself, what isn't he doing? He needs to get back to basics, I'd guess. Where do we go from here is nothing, really. There's talk of selling him, and we'll speak about that in the next live stream. Make sure you're all there at 4:30, folks. But it is what it is, people. You know, we must have considered this when we gave him a deal that he's naturally declining, and it might be a thing where Aubameyang, if he continues like this, he might have to learn to play a different role, in that he could, you know, he might become a Lacazette in that he gets you a 13 league goals, but Martinelli and these other guys play more of a prominent role. We have to consider that, and this is where foresight is vital. 2 years or a year before he signed that new contract, we should be looking for a next striker. We should be looking for one anyways. You get the vibe that Aubameyang and Laka will leave this club one day, and hopefully it's Balogun and Martinelli and they can save us a few quid. But if they don't quite produce to that standard, we're going to look around like, oh, we need that. You know, we want a centre half. David Luiz, you must have known he might walk away because of the age he's at. Bring in an ex-man to hold the hands of Gabriel and Saliba when either can't quite do it, when they can't do it with either as a pivot. So he has reached a crossroads, man. He's not scoring goals. He needs to pull himself out of it. As I said, I think something's changed in the relationship between him and Arteta to a degree. But, you know, where does he go from here? Get back on the training ground. I see him playing on holiday, scoring goals, you know. Just get back on the training ground, really. Just get back to basics. You know, maybe there's a lot of mental issues because he's been through a lot off the field. But, you know, things like this make you stronger, man. Peter has said, what do you make of Brentford's chances in the Premier League next year? Hope they stay in, but with that current level of playing squad, without additions, which they will make, I think they will struggle. I can't lie. I like Ethan Pinnock. I think he will struggle in the Premier League. You know, I like a lot of their players. You know, I'm keen to see Ivan Toney do what he can. What's the French brother that plays up front or in behind the striker? And he was involved in one of the goals for Swansea. He makes lovely runs in behind, man. Let me find his name. There's a couple decent Brentford players. They got Stevens, the former Arsenal lad, as well. They got a couple players, man. Let me find that player's name for you, because I don't like saying what's his name, and there's no need to. There's not able to put a name on it. Simple as that. Need to be able to do that. What's his face, man? Oh yeah, they got the former Liverpool man Canos, who's decent. What's his face, bro? That's it. Embuemo. Him, the 21-year-old, he looks bare old, but he's 21. I like him. Probably will struggle with this current level of playing squad, though. I can't lie. Yes, Steve, good save. That's who I'm looking for. I like how, I don't think he's quality, but I like the fact that he's 21. He might develop, and he makes good runs. He's strong. I like the way he plays. I want to see them do well, man. I want to see them do well. Hopefully, they could take a couple Arsenal lads on loan. You know, if Nelson can't get game time. So yeah, man. I think they will struggle with this current level of playing squad, if that's what you're asking me. But who knows? You know, people would have thought the same. The first year Sheffield went up, they performed very well. Obviously, didn't build on that the following year, and then it got mad. Should we try and buy Mariba if we cannot sign Basuma? Completely different player, considerably young, but quality, absolute quality player, man. And I know he's only got a year left on his deal, but you know, him and Ansu Fati are the future of Barcelona. So yeah, if we can, you know, one of the last teenage midfielders we bought from Barcelona or got from Barcelona was quite decent. And I think, I don't like to use Paul Pogba as an example. I don't quite think he's like that, but he's got shades of it, man. And I think with him, ability is one thing, it's the mentality. When I'm seeing him trying to fight them Real Madrid players, trying to back Messi, hitting a crossbar off the bench, you can tell when a player's got the mentality that they believe they should be at this level. So if we could, yeah, but I think that signing there, my guy's just going to stay with FIFA and Football Manager. So yeah, back to Peter. You had a couple other questions. You said, we all expect significant signings and changes for Arsenal next season, but historically, we all know that's probably not happening. In which case, is it another 8 for us next season, or can we do more with what we have at our disposal? Bro, provided nobody gets signed, I can't be surprised if we finish 8th. But let's be real, like we need better players, and there's many problems. But we didn't qualify for the top 4 this season because of lack of consistency and all the typical mistakes. So I do think there was enough with this playing squad to make more of a meal of at least getting top 4, at least being in the shout of it, at least not being out of it for me anyways in December or before that. So 100%, but no signings is more of the same, man. Defo can, because again, if you don't have a DNA, you can definitely get more out of the squad. And you also said, lastly, not pushing it, DG's all-time world 11, difficult one. In goal, I'm going to go with someone I don't typically go with. I'm not going to go with the Buffons and Cassius's. I'm going to go with Van der Sar because I've always appreciated Van der Sar. Hey, almost kicking up the screen. Apologies. I'd say what? Van der Sar in goal, Dani Alves every day of the week on the right-hand side, Ashley Cole on the left-hand side, left back, centre-half, Rio and Tony Adams. Midfield, I'd say Vieira. Trying to find balance, but I'd say, do you know what? I'd say Vieira, Yaya Toure for me. Ronaldinho in that 10. Thierry Henry on the left. No, Henry through the middle. Messi on the right. Neymar on the left. R7, I'm sorry, man, but it came down to you or Neymar, and I'm a bit biased. So that would be my all-time world 11 off the top of my head, trying a different one. I know people have asked me that question before. Kay, shout out to you. You said, say Arteta gets Aubameyang. How can he get Aubameyang? Sorry, I'm trying to read 2 questions at once. Say Arteta gets Bissouma, a centre-back, a right-back, and say like, well, what would you expect from that team next season? Bro, more of a fighter, top 4. Damn right, top 4. Arguably, you just said every area that needs to get addressed. We might fall short, but I would expect a DNA. And all right, cool. I don't want to concede top 4, but if you can at least get a point, like you missed out on a point, we'll take that. I want to make a meal of top 4. So that, my guy. Steve, with the philosophical ones, you said, what's the most important lesson you learned as a teenager? Difficult one. To be your own man, I would say. Or woman, if you are one, to be your own man or woman, because obviously you grow up in London, when you get up to an age, you're saying teenage, you're talking like 18 as well. I'm talking more 17, 16, 17, 18. I mean, we were into it young, like 14, 15. There's a lot of things that made us have to grow up quicker, but not to get into that. But I would say them sort of ages there, you start seeing things go left and right, like, certain people go one way, certain people go left. Sometimes you might go that way and next way, and you have to define yourself. You got to be yourself. So I've always been encouraged to be myself, to not follow fashion. And I mean, I think that's something that's just installed in all West Indian households, kind of like, don't be an idiot, innit? Like use what's in here. So I'd say being yourself, being true to yourself, being yourself, not being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So timing, because boy, it's a mazza. Good question. And I actually feel if I had time to think about this, I could answer this a lot better. Time, as I said, being your own person. Not to listen too much to what people say. Like, I believe in listening to everyone, but a lot of people are just waffling. A lot of people just say things because they don't believe in themselves. So not to take real. No, I'm not talking opinions because everyone's been doing that. But I'd say if you want to do something, not to let people discourage you. If you've got a plan and you really want to do something, then do it really and truly. Maybe as well not to let other people define your happiness. Good questions, man. Good question. Paul has said, out of all the players we have been linked with, who is the one you want the most? I mean, we've been linked with hella guys, Paul. Shout out to Paul. Hope your like button is working on YouTube, because I know you was having problems. Hit the like button if yours isn't working, or if you just haven't hit that like button, people. So Paul, to answer your question, we've been linked with quite a lot of man still. We were linked with Aguero at one point. Out of all the ones that are tangible, Buendia / Aouar for me. I'd say Buendia first, Basuma first 0.5. And then, I mean, the links have kind of died down about Aouar, but if Aouar links were fresh, then I'd probably boost him to first. So hopefully that answers your question, man. We ain't been linked with no right backs yet, as of yet, although we have been linked with Kieran Trippier, in which obviously I'll be live streaming after this, people. Information is in the live chat, but I can also because I'm so nice, I'll drop a link right now in the live chat for you guys as well, even though it's pinned. You know, so I'll try and do everything for you, some of you lazy twats. Someone's got to do it, eh? So yeah, let me drop the link. Where is it? Oh, no, YouTube, you got to monetize every vid I do. What are you talking about? What you want about? It's all of that about. So yeah, link's been dropped in the live chat, people. But moving on, Steven said, who do you think will finish higher in the Premier League next season, Brentford or Leeds? Bro, football's funny, innit? I've seen Reading just about miss out on Europe and then go down the next year. And I don't want Leeds to go down, but no one's invincible. But if I had to bet money, I would say Leeds. I just think better squad, better understanding. I think Leeds in theory are only going to strengthen their team. Saying that, Rafinha's been linked with a move, which would be a blow. So I would say Leeds United. You've also said, would Icardi be a good fit at Arsenal? Well, we ain't got a striker, so why not? But probably with finances, the baggage that comes with his agent, probably not. But on ability, I reckon he will. I always take the optimistic approach when players look a bit like damaged goods. Apologies. Kay has said, do you think Arsenal will ever return to former glory, considering the amounts of money teams like Chelsea and City spend? How are Arsenal supposed to compete? There's always a chance to compete, my guy. I do think there is. If we was doing our practices in the best way, I'm not saying we'd be winning the league, but there'd be half a chance. So I do think one day, but as long as certain people own the club, I can't see it personally. Steve has said, next year, what would Arsenal have to achieve, to call it a successful season? Well, a DNA, Europe, simple as that, man. You've all said, what's the most unpredictable team in the Premier League? I think it's Leeds, man, because Leeds are bookie, man. Well, you can predict them. You know they're attacking football, but they're, guys like Dallas just popping up with goals and that. Like, I think it's that, man. H has said, what transfers do you want for Arsenal? 5 in, 5 out. 5 in, 5 out. With the shake-up in man. Oh, sorry, that's the second question. I don't expect us to do all the incomings and outgoings, but I want a right back. In an ideal world, if it could happen, which I don't think will happen, I want a right back. I want a centre mid, 2 centre mids. I want a centre half. I would say a backup left back, so 5 minimum. And in terms of outgoings, I mean, there's several players that are on the cusp of the team that are not really part of it. I know there's people we could sell, but there's several of them. So I would say as many as we could get out. I'd arguably say I'd like to see more out than in, really, and in that there should be. You should be able to do that 3 to 5 get 3 of the 5 positions, and then yeah, man, I want to see a lot of work for the outgoings, because there's too many players that are at Arsenal but not really at Arsenal, in that they're half at the squad. You forget they're even technically on the payroll of the team and things like that. With the shake-up in managers across Europe, who would your preference at Arsenal be? Well, we're not going to grab Conte. Obviously, when at a point when you've seen Zidane, Conte, Allegri, maybe even Poch, if PSG something happens there, all of these guys be available. So I would say them, really. Missing out on all of them, really, whether it be a success or not. They'd all be worth a fair chance. H has said, who's your dream first 11 next season? Good question. I would say what? We've been linked with Onana in goal. I don't really care for the goalie situation, but just on the basis that Leno, I have to question your commitment, but I'd say Leno in goal, Gabriel and Saliba centre half in an ideal world, left back Tierney, right back. Just a right back, a right back in midfield. In an ideal world, you would have Partey. Ooh. I'd actually say Partey, Aouar. Yeah, Partey, Aouar, Buendia / Smith Rowe, Saka, Pepe / Martinelli. Man have to fight for them positions and that. And then Aubameyang back in form through the middle for at least a season or whatever, man. So yeah, man, that would be it. But as you said, it's a dream. In your opinion, will Leicester make the top 4 next year? Well, based on the last 2-3 years, they've ran it close. So you have to say yes. Based on how it's happened on the last game or 2 games of the season, you'd have to say no. So yeah, man. Mr. Adlib 23 has said, love for your questions. You said, who would you say has had the better job in their first 18 months, Ancelotti or Arteta? Well, Arteta's finished 8th in it, so I'm Arteta, but he's won a trophy, bro. Carlo finished 10th. Like, come on, man. They were ahead of us for time. I'd say Arteta, realistically, I can't lie to you. I don't think too many people are going to remember Carlo Ancelotti at Everton, with respect to Carlo. Arteta, if you fancy going Everton, why not? What's your favorite Bajan food? Fish cakes, easy question. Love for that. Shout out to all my Bajan ones locked in as well. Shout out to all the West Indies. I know we always have Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. I see St. Vincent, St. Kitts the other day. Bare different ones, man. Shout out to everyone everywhere in the world, man. But yeah. If Spurs got Conte, how nervous would that make you? Not really, because I just feel there's too many problems at Arsenal for me to be looking over what next clubs are doing. I want to, but I just feel we need to arrest what we're doing wrong. So it would make me nervous, but I would kind of hope that it kind of ends in tears in that, you know, he's brought there under false pretenses. He then starts talking about what they're not doing, you know, kind of. I want it to kind of end like Jose, but it would scare me because Conte is known for getting blood out of stones in the sense of what I mean by that is there's a couple crap players he as you looking at him thinking, yo, how's he playing so well? Would you take Conte over Arteta at this moment in time? Alex, 100%, broski. Like, come on now. Mr. Adlib, to go back to you, said, if you could bring back any one of these OGs back into this current squad, who would it be and why? You've gone with Rosicky, Petit, Hileb, Gilberto Silva. Ooh. I thought I had the answer until I see all the names. Ooh. I think Petit would slot well next to Partey. So him, likewise, Gilberto Silva. You know. Hileb and Smith Rowe link-up play would be a thing of beauty. You know. Little Mozart. You call him Little Mozart for a reason. All of them, really. But I'd say first, I'll rank it. First, Petit. Second, Gilberto. Third, Hileb, just because he's a low sock specialist. And it doesn't feel good putting Rosicky last. Oh, there's no last. There can't be a last in this, man. In no order. But I'm just going to say them in order. Petit, Gilberto, Hileb, Rosicky, Hileb. Like, Rosicky, Hileb. I'm just flashbacks of what Rosicky was on. But then Hileb was good. As very good. Oh, man. You see, this is when I miss when Arsenal had these ballers, man, in abundance. And with respect to Hileb, bro, man, are finding guys in bed. Well, we found him. Allegedly, we started scouting him from his homeland days. We found him in Germany. Obviously, the same goes for Rosicky. Bro, not everybody to be a baller. Not everyone has to cost mad money. Or didn't have to them times. Last one. What would you say is Arsenal's goal of the season? Pepe scored a couple screamers in it, so probably one of them, really. I'd have to watch all the goals again. There's been couples still. I mean, Williams' free kick was decent. I give him that. I liked the teamwork goals that we scored against Chelsea. Pepe scored a couple screamers, though. So, you know me, I'm biased towards the screamers. I'm sure Lacazette scored a couple decent finishes as well. I'll probably say Satin Pepe's done, man. There's a lot of them still. There's a lot of them. I'd have to go on YouTube and watch all our goals again to truthfully give you an answer. But something's just telling me something Pepe's did. Love for the question. Sean has asked, but this is a tough one. If you were given the technical director of Arsenal, what would your 3-year plan be, and what steps would you take chronologically to stabilize the club while also pushing for champ/the league? You said, what profile of players would you prioritize, and which young/underrated players would you tempt from other clubs as soon as possible that would be attainable? In terms of young and underrated players, it's difficult to put a 3-year plan on it, but I'd say year one is about stability. Getting out the players that don't want to be here, getting in the players that want to be here, surrounding these young players with players that they can look at and see their experience. So that would be year one. And obviously demanding Arteta shows me a philosophy and all of these things. And also on top of that, doing what we can to get more out of the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, the Gabriels, getting out of, because too many of these players I look at and they're quality players, and it's not really a criticism of them. We don't really iron out the tough edges in their game. Again, you know, this is what I said. I have to watch them again. That's what I said. I'm sure there was a couple against Chelsea. So Xhaka has hit a free kick. So between them two, and obviously you're Laka bias, but Laka has a few. So like I said, my guy, year one, stability, proper 11 / if we can do depth. Year two, improving on what we have. Year three, in an ideal world, if we have a philosophy, then year three we should be able to target top 4 again and beyond that. personality of players, again, I would obviously you want to try and tender towards the more 22 to 26-year-old age group because of resale value and things like that. But I would say more so the players before they get to that level. Like, can you find Mane when he's in France, not at Southampton, before he's turned into that? You know, same way you're finding Adebayor, yes, at Monaco and things like that. Finding these guys of tomorrow before they've come to that. You know, Lewandowski before he's gone to Dortmund and brain freeze, Bayern Munich, he's had to have been in humble beginnings doing his thing in Poland. Why can't you get over there and get him in Poland? Because Sam Allardyce almost got him at Blackburn before Ash Cloud or something messed up the flight. So these sort of things. Finding them Benassis and Gnabry's and all them, man, again and again, man. Steve said, how often do you travel? As much as I can before COVID. Kaya said, do you have any hobbies away from football? Hobbies? I don't know for hobbies. I'd say interest. Yeah, I like to read. I like to watch boxing. I actually like to watch a lot of trash TV, actually. A lot of that, man. I like to do a lot of self-help things. Like to drink alcohol. Love me a rum punch and that. So, yeah, man, not too much that differs away from football. And really, one shout out to you. What have you said? Which standard of players should we be looking at, bro? Guys that can improve the team. Like, we shouldn't be too hard. Simple as that, man. We need players that, I would say you need a couple of players. You know, when you're looking at the Buendias, for me, the cam role, the centre mid role, the centre half role, maybe right back, but I would be prepared to take someone who can grow into that role. But I would say them sort of, man, I want people that are ready to kind of have an instant impact. Obviously, they can have scope to grow, but I'd say I kind of want instant impact because for me, I'm always open to quality. If you turn around and buy a young centre-half, I don't mind it. But for me, it makes more sense to sign a 25, 26, arguably even 28, 29-year-old centre-half to go with a Gabriel and Saliba. I hear it in terms of signing someone else, but for me, you've got two young centre-halves. You ain't really worked with them yet. So work with them and then do something else rather than work with one. Because as I said, you know, we've got too many projects. And again, I want to know how we're going to make Joe Willock, if he comes back, into that, you know, long-term Joe Willock that we've seen at Newcastle. How are we going to, if Martinelli's going to be a striker or a left winger, how are we going to take him there? Balogun, how's he going there? Saka, can we improve his corners? But how's he going next level? We all know Gabriel and Saliba are good centre-halves, but they're young. There's issues there. Coach them out. Do you get it? So these sort of things, players that, I want to get players that you just need them sort of things there, lesser profile of player as well, but players that ultimately can improve the team, really. Or if not, players that could be, you know, you look at Mavropanos, he might make the grade at Arsenal, he might not, but he might be able to make a decent sum for you. You might turn around and be able to make 15, 20. All right, cool. It's a bit like Chelsea. You know, at one point, they looked like they were going to sell Christensen before he even got a look in at Chelsea. They would have got a decent little fee for him because he's been at Gladbach. Then obviously, he might turn around and become a quality player, but you turn around and use that money elsewhere. So I would say that, man. I would say that really and truly. But ultimately, players that are better than what we have. You know, we tend to be signing players that, I don't mind squad players, but there's too many of them. It's like there's too many sideways signings. Like Willian, yeah, you could sit here and say, oh, you know, squad depth, this and that, but he's not improving the team. Cedric, he's not improving the team. You know, they're not signings, but to quote, you know, my third granddad, Arsene Wenger, like a new signing. You know, when you've seen Chambers, I love Chambers in this team and being a part of the 25-man squad, but you know, the Chambers, the El Nenes, with respect to them, they're like new signings. The bar is on the floor. Like the bar at this club is on the floor. Like we're praising an Arsenal midfielder with respect to Xhaka for being able to hit a crossfield pass, bro. Bro. Apparently Zidane's looking at Inter Milan. Apparently, if he got and Inter looking at Xhaka, Zidane's not gonna have that. Jose is not gonna have that, bro. Vieira was doing that in his sleep. Come on now, man. I think this is where we've gone a bit left in football. We praise centre mids for working hard. Your centre mid should be able to run up and down. What's going on? And I'm guilty of that. I sit here and say, a man works hard, he runs about, he works his socks off. Bro, you bloody should work his socks off. Do you get it? Midfielder, you should be one of the fittest in the team. The bar is on the floor. And this is where we're in dangerous territory in that you should be able to praise Xhaka if he's doing his thing, but the bar is on the floor. You know, for me, if I was naming my strongest lineup based on man that played last season, David Luiz and Granit Xhaka are arguably in that team. They are in that team. It's not arguable. But they're capped. Do you get it? The bar is on the floor. Right? Come on. Like, this is where I keep saying fans kind of lack balance and the inability to pre the situation like that. And this is where, you know, we're finding fans are fighting over trying to compare Xhaka to Vieira, where it's unfair for Xhaka because he shouldn't be there. And fans, you know, they see Partey, they see another IC3, and they're saying he's the next Vieira. He can't chat to Vieira. Like, I think Vieira's rated, but listen, is Vieira in that Hall of Fame yet in the Premier League? Because it's a joke. You know, I think there's a lot of things going wrong where I'm not saying Gerrard and Lampard aren't better than him, but I just feel, why is it always them two and he's never there? Because he's arguably, bro, I can't lie. No one could tell me. I think Vieira's better on the ball than both of them. I think Vieira's more complete than both of them. I'm a biased Arsenal man. I'm sure a Liverpool and a Chelsea fan will say different, and that's cool. My point being is just that Vieira is slept on. You know, man, just see the mad tackles. People forget them box-to-box runs, them lovely link-up plays, and that's a midfielder. It's a crazy one, man. It's a crazy one. But yeah, man. You said which realistic players that qualify for the homegrown quota should we be looking at? Well, you say realistic. What's really realistic with these English players? Because they all come with a premium, dude. But Max Aarons, you know, I wouldn't mind Jamal Lewis, a little backup left back for Newcastle. That's at Newcastle. What? I was gonna say James Justin, but you've got a lot of snowballs. Top of my head, this is different. This is difficult, man. I mean, we've been linked with that Freddie Woodman. If we can't get a second choice keeper, Lee Buchanan at Derby are broke, so you must be able to grab a couple of them Derby young players. You know, must be able to do something. You know, Elise is there at Reading. You know, he's there for the taking if somebody wants to have a chance on him. You know, these sort of players there, really. What do you think of Kakare of Lyon to play besides Partey? Bro, this is the one question you've asked I have a problem with because you've been subscribed for time and I'm sure you commented, you know I'm a big fan of Kakare and I'll be gassing it. I want him. You know, he's a young man. He'll get rolled over a couple of times, but yeah, man, I would take him. What do you think of Tuchemani of Monaco as an alternative to Bissouma? Again, you're disappointing me with these questions, bro, because you're in all the scouting vids and that. Should have been here when he was at Bordeaux. Hopefully we can grab him when he's at Monaco, but he's linked with Chelsea. What do you think of Thierry Carrera of Valencia to replace Bellerin? I like him. Needs to improve 1v1. Decent right back. I'm not sure, truthfully, but decent one still. What do you think of Cherki of Lyon to replace Odegaard? Bro, he's better than Odegaard in my opinion, or will be. You know, I'm probably gassing it. I am gassing. He's not currently better than him, but he will be. Bro, would love him. And he said, would you take any of the Sporting Lisbon current young bucks? They have two creative midfielders, a left back and a striker. Nuno Mendes or whatever the left back's name would be the first. Is it? I'm not sure if it's Eduardo Quaresma or something. They might have him. They've got is it Nunez or something, some midfielder, and they've got that Pedro Gonalves guy. I butchered everybody's name, but there's one guy they got that's linked with Liverpool. They got a couple of decent young players still. So hopefully that answers your question. You've also said, should we be looking to sign any free transfers to bolster the squad? I.e. Hersay of Napoli as a right back option. Well, these men are going to want mad sign-on fees. I wouldn't mind him, but I would stay clear of that. Free agents. Football. Like, yeah, man, I don't even know who is a free agent if I'm completely honest with you. Out of contract 2021. When was this published? Right, let me see this. Well, Messi, Aguero, Ramos, you can forget about all that. Even a Brian Brobley who's gone. Where's he gone? Leipzig. He could have made a little profit on that. Ronaldo gone. Well, Pogba's extended his year. Donnarumma would love that, but he's linked with Barca. Can forget about Alaba. Draxler signed a new deal. Forget about Batshuayi. Man said Theo Walcott. Mata and Martinez, Myth, Van Aanholt, I guess there's backup, but Myth, Louise has just left. So yeah, nah, man. So yeah, I think, what else have we got? What do you think of Kai Jorge of Santos? Watched him in the Brazilian Cup a couple of days ago and he looked decent. He's out of contract this year. Decent technically, good 1v1, good skillful wise, but I'm quite careful on them Brazilian ones because, you know, I'm very quick I'm shameless. The minute you show me some step overs, I'll sit here and say your next name. So I'm quite cautious. And I think a lot of them have been false images, you know, but he does look the truth. I can't lie to you. And he is someone to take a chance on. He is linked with us half the time. I didn't watch him in the Cup. You watched him in, but yeah, he's a decent player. We could do a lot worse. And you said, what is your opinion of the squad Southgate picked? Underwhelming. Like, there's some players I like in there. Obvious. I don't need to spell it out. And I can't put my finger on it, but something just appears underwhelming because I know he's not going to get the best out of Foden, Mount, Grealish, because he's not going to be brave enough to let them sick players link up with each other. Sancho, Sterling, all of them. Defensively, couple of centre halves are meaty, man. Like, I like Cody, but I mean Cody and more so Mings. I think, but the fact that we've called up Mings for international duty, being left-footed does wonders. I think this is where the problem is. So, got faith in the attacking talents. Think not really, got quite concerned just over how Southgate is going to get the best out of his tools, man. So yeah, man. Hopefully that answers all your questions. A man said DG knows everything. Machine never. No, very little. But I respect that, man. People don't respect Vieira technically. I don't want to say it, but it's clearly Carman's at IC3, bro. It's like when you talk about Pogba and then Ndombele, you start looking at the athlete and not the Yaya Toure. Yeah, they're athlete, but man, forget them, man. They are ballers. Like, it's crazy, man. Big up DG. This is very interesting. I appreciate that. It's all banter 1-1, man. No need to say sorry. I'm just bantering you, my guy, man. Yeah, the bar is on the floor for sure. The standard of players is way down globally, and fan standards are too. I just think clubs are lazy these days, man, because it takes time and effort to scout. And these clubs they're feeling the pinch now with COVID and they're all them sort of things there, but they can afford to get it wrong. They can afford to say, you know, you think that right back's good? 30, 40, he gets it wrong, let's buy another one. Where the other clubs, the Germans, the French, whatever, if they're spending 25, bro, they need to know that player better than his mum knows him before they're spending that. Or if not, they're using someone from the academy or something else. Obviously, the Premier League is unique in that everybody's fighting each other, and there's no, we're not allowed to be complacent. I feel like in Germany, like, you know, I know PSG just lost the league, but realistically, they don't have to invest. They could have a joke of a manager, and provided they keep doing what they're doing, then Bayern Munich, they'll win the league like half the time. Like, I know they didn't win the league this time, and they've lost it. I've seen three different. Well, I've seen more. I remember when Lyon was winning it, but of recent years, off the top of my head, I've seen it excluding PSG. I'm sure Monaco won it. Not Monaco. Well, Monaco did win it, so I was going to say Monaco, Lyon, and Montpellier. I've seen them win it, but 9 times out of 10, it's PSG. Like, I'm sure PSG won that league title once before Christmas. Come on now, that's not serious. Yeah, you're right. Ancelotti did improve Everton's position. That's one thing. But I'm going to just be a bit biased to Arteta and say, I can't really... Well, Carlos are done. And they were ahead of us for large periods, and they bottled it and finished 10th. Like, they finished 10th. And remember, we was talking about them just missing out on champs. I don't think that's Ancelotti per se, because the players are not levels. But, yeah, man. I'm anti-Mings, but he had a decent game the other day. Yeah, fair play against Austria. Cool. All right. I hear that. With respect to Alaba and them, a couple, man, he could have a decent game against them. And even then, I don't think he's a poor player. Mings can play, can defend. I just don't think his levels, like, is the standard of English defender, bro. I know Mings, Lewis Dunk don't look the part, but how can them man there not be in the team? Like, if he's not at Brighton, if he's at United, like Maguire, he's getting called up and lauded. Again, I just don't think his levels, like, it's that simple, man. But you are right. He did have a decent game. I can't take that from him. Make sure you're hitting the like button if you haven't already. I appreciate everybody locked in. So, yeah, man. I think that's all the questions I've got, people. Oh, they grab nice. Bro, mad thing. Nina, Mad. Have I missed out anything? Would you take Aaron's if it meant we couldn't sign Buendia? Nope. I want Buendia, my guy. Nope. It does kind of suck that we are a bit cornered, though, because while I rate and want Basuma, he should be in addition to Xhaka and not a replacement. I get what you mean exactly. He's not like for like. This is the problem with fans, man. Fans were talking about Partey like he's a complete midfielder, in which in many aspects he is, but the lines start getting blurred. He's not, this is the thing with fans. Like, we romanticize players and we put them at a standard they're not. I'm not saying Partey isn't a baller, but he's not a messiah. And then we act surprised when man start doing shaky things or looking shaky. We're like, oh, where was this? Did they zanged us? No, it's all about systems in that, man. Respect DG. I asked 1,000 questions and you answered them all. Most wouldn't have had the knowledge to even answer. I appreciate that. You asked me the questions, my guy. I got a duty to answer that. You're a member, bro. Like, all the support you man give me watching all these vids, positive messages. The least I can do is answer your questions. What the hell do you think this is, man? Respect that. Respect you lot, man. Is anyone on our staff known to be known to be able to evaluate well in Eastern Europe. Surely there should be cheap stars in Ukraine, Croatia, and Greece. Bro, Serbia, bro, all them Red Stars and Belgrades, them teams there. Obviously, work permit messes it up for Arsenal, and that's why we can't really do it. But there's gems everywhere, you know. That's you got to look at them sort of nations there. You know, Milinkovic Savic, I don't know his life story, and he might have just straight up come out from Lazio, but I'm sure at a point, you know, he must have been in his homeland. Somebody seen him and said, you know what? You're half decent, really and truly. Like, let me see. Right, he's born in Spain. Right, this guy's had a mad life. All right, so he's not the best example, but typically these sort of regions, there's got to be. This guy's had a. I didn't know Milinkovic. This is probably why he's a baller on top of everything else. Like, man was born in Spain. Oh, his dad was a footballer, and his mum was a basketball player. Right, and he spent time in Portugal, bro. This guy's gone everywhere, isn't it? Bloody hell. Born in Spain, lived in Portugal. It's almost Eric Dyer-esque, you know. Youth days. Yeah, where did he start his senior career? Youth career, he spent time at Sporting, a team in Austria called Grazer. Like, I didn't thought I was even showing the screen with you guys, people. Like, obviously, Wikipedia's information is subjective, but this is what I mean about scouting. You got to find these man. Like, at no point, like, when does he come into Italy, people? Like, what? These are the teams man has been playing for. He's in Belgium. Again, I'm not saying this to get him. I'm just saying there's gems everywhere, people. You know, Lazio clearly done their scouting and bust, man, innit? So, therefore, got to be looking at Eastern Europe and that, man. That's a job for DG. One love, but that's one of them I'd like to dedicate another scout to go over there, really, man. You know, the ones there. No, it's not for me still. It's not for me still. Gonna stand out like a sore farm and get rolled and no. Hotel settings only probably, but no. Allow me. I have, bro, Sean, and that's before the next live stream. Again, shameless plug, but 4:30 we go again. Third live stream of the day. Let me actually get the link for you guys. I'm sure I got the link up for you guys. It's in the live chat. It's pinned in the live chat, actually. But yeah, let me get it up. I can't lie, it's getting late in the day, people. I'm moving quite sluggish and forgetting what I'm doing. But yeah, man, we go again. There's always one hate. There's haters have been out in full effect, man. I ain't even been live. How are you hitting the dislike button? Fair enough. Say nothing. But yeah, man, we go again. Like that's that one there. Comments, you know, live chat, comment. There it is. This video will take you all to that landing page as well. Imagine Milinkovic in that Spanish midfield with all the tiny Spaniards running around. They probably need him, really. And he don't even use his size. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's a technical baller. Pause. Love that guy, but I don't think he's quite developed as quickly as I thought. But baller, man. 3 in a day. Come on. It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. It has to be done. Got no choice. I appreciate that, man, because without you guys, there'd be no point doing that. You know, I see Bellerin links. It's like, you know what? I want to take Saturday off and just do uploads. So we'll do this thing. I'll probably be here tomorrow. Who knows? Where are we at in terms of likes? 120 likes. It's not good. It's not bad, sorry, but it could be better. Can we move that towards 200 people? But on that, though, I've answered all the questions. And obviously, I'm going to cut this just short of an hour just so I can prepare for the next live stream. Members, without you lot, couldn't answer any of these questions. It would all be pointless. I would look like a sado. So, yeah, man, I appreciate all of you guys, man. I really appreciate all of you guys. And I like to do the Q&As because it's my little bit to give back to you, man, innit? Really and truly, guys and girls that support me. And not just the members. Shout out to the members, subscribers, the Twitch gang, everybody that's locked in, man. Norwich turned down 30 million for Buendia. We spoke about that in my last live stream, bro, but allegedly they have, and they probably would. Us and Aston Villa have had bids rejected. Should be proud of the community you have built, bro. Come a long way, man. Well played. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm proud of it. You know, I'm proud of you guys because, again, I must be doing something right, but it's you lot that make the difference. Because if you lot didn't support the thing, didn't say these positive, man, there'll be no point. Why would someone make content that nobody wants to hear? They don't want to be in that. So, yeah, man. And this all kind of happened. This whole journey just started accidentally, man. I appreciate you lot, man. They want 40 mil. Hey, man, just give them 30 mil. Sell them dreams like in Football Manager. Like if he scores 50 goals, they'll give you an next 2 million and things like that. And we move. I appreciate that. See, Come on, everyone, let's hit the like button. Exactly. You know, every like button means I'm more likely to be shown in somebody news algorithm, and YouTube is playing with that. That's why I always tell you, like, the same way the likes make the difference, it's coming like notifications on YouTube don't make a difference. So subscribe on Twitch and hit the notifications on that. You'll get a like button, people. Yeah, man, YouTube do me dirty. They showed me that today, well, this last 28 days, actually, YouTube recommendations is a big part of the views. That's because you lot are hitting the like button. So they're going, yo, people like this. Let's show it to someone who likes similar stuff. That's how it works, how the algorithm works, people. So I appreciate that. Obviously, C cued me, teed me up perfectly to be a shameless one. Obviously, you can get more colors than just here. More products will be on here, but we're moving slow. If you was to ask me my favorite, it's that hoodie there. So yeah, man. A man said when the DG calendar hit in the shop, hey, you'll never get them Christmas calendars from me. You're moving mad. Hey, that killed me, man. But on that note, people, I'm gonna have to love and leave you for half an hour. Please make sure you're in the next live stream. As I said, people, we go again. You can see it here again. For you lazy birds, this video, when it finishes, will take you to that landing page. But also, I've dropped the link the link's in the description. The link should be in the live chat as well. On that note, people, I'm gonna have to love and leave you. Shout out to the members. Bless up. I'll see you lot all in half an hour. I'm out.